Hello and welcome back everyone. I'm Akash. You are watching All About Code and this is part 4 of Angular testing tutorial series. Let's see what we have in this session. In this session we will learn what is a SpyOn function in Jasmine, basics of test doubles, when to use a SpyOn function, what is XDeclare and when to use XDeclare. Here we have the definition of SpyOn function, that Jasmine has test double functions called spies. First, let's see when to use this test double function and then we will come back to the definition. So, test double functions are basically used when we have dependencies in our project. For example, REST API, database, libraries, etc. These are our external dependencies. So, it is only used to be assured that from where the error is coming from. Like we hit any API from front end and that API is getting data from a database. So if anything goes wrong in API, then by using a SpyOn function, we can be assured that the issue is coming from API side, not from the unit test code. If you want to find the issue manually, then it can consume much time. So now we know when to use test double function. Let's now move back to the definition. Jasmine has test double functions called spies. A spy can track all calls to its function and all arguments as well. A spy can only exist in describe, that is our sweet block, or it block, that is our spec block, in which it is defined. A SpyOn function can call the original function using .end and .callthrough. This is the function which we are going to use in our example. This is the syntax that how to use SpyOn function by writing SpyOn, then the instance of component or service that we are going to use, and then the name of function in single quotes. This is the example on which we have been working in our last video. Here we have defined 3 functions in app component and written isolated specs for each of the functions. Isolated specs means when one test is not dependent on other. Here we have also configured test bed in our before each block. First I am going to spy on my calculate service. Here I have a sum function which I am using in app.component.ts in find sum method to calculate sum of the given inputs. Here I am giving input 1, 2 and 3 and I am returning 6 over here. In order to spy on calc service, I will provide instance and then the function name on which I want to spy. We can start by writing spy on instance name, that is calc, which we have defined in our last video. Name of the method in single quotes dot and dot call through. Now we can expect that this sum method should be called. For that, expect calc dot sum to have been called. To have been called method returns true if the spy is called. Then I will run the test and see that the method is called or not. So my result is success. So the method is called. Now assume that our sum service is consumed at many places. So we want to call it only once and our test should fail if it is called more than once. So what I will do, I will just write to have been called times 1. I am calling my find sum method only once, so it will return success. Now if I call it 2 times, second addition, my find sum method calls my sum method. So now my sum method will be called twice. Now when I run, then my test should fail. Yeah, my test is failed. And why? Because expected spy sum to have called only once and it was called 2 times. So this is how we can spy on our service. In this way we can also spy component function and we can also provide a specific value in our function. like SpyOn, name of the instance of app component is student count dot comma out student, and here I am going to return a specific value dot and dot return value, that is 79. And now I will expect to call this method expect student count dot out student to have been called. Now it should return success. Yes, and if I return 80, then it should fail. Yeah, my test is failed. Expected 80 to equal 79. We can return any data type here, number, string, bool, anything. This is how we spy on function using spies. In this session we have only covered basics of testable functions, but we will be going in deep in upcoming video while working with HTTP services. We can use XDescribe to make our suite pending. When I make it XDescribe, then my suite will be pending and it will not run. In this way we can also make pending our spec as well. Exit. So thanks for watching. We will meet in next video.